So there is so much going on, and there's so much that I need to catch you up on. But I also know that my brain is not working in any kind of like linear fashion right now. So I'm just jumping in and telling you what's going on. I finally moved. I officially moved. I'm in Connecticut. We spent 20 days on the road. We had the luxury of time. That's why we spent so long on the road. And it was amazing. It was an amazing trip. There were, obviously tough moments because you're traveling with a 5-year-old. So you have a lot of opinions, mainly coming from one source. But beyond that, like, we knew what we were getting into, and we visited so many different national parks. It was amazing. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And it came at a really good time. So I'm so grateful for that experience. But now that I'm in Connecticut, I am now faced with so many chores. Moving into my grandmother's house, I think we assumed that it would be easier, in the sense that, hey, we're kind of just like hermit crabbing into a place and we will change things along the way, but also not change too many things because we haven't actually purchased the house at this point. So that's what we thought. Turns out it's really hard to live in somebody else's space. So we are making a lot of changes, and that is also hard when, you just have to also keep, a 5-year-old occupied, and it's a tall order to just kind of move. And even though my parents are nearby, they really haven't been grandparents because the distance. Being in California for all of Azzy's life, they never really had that opportunity. So they are like kind of all in with helping, but there are limits to, what, they want to do and what Azzy will allow them to do. So it is, it's going. I think I also realized that I want things done yesterday type of person. And it's a me issue, and it's hard to change that mindset when it's like you see so many tasks that need to be done and you can't just get to them when you want to. That has always been like the hardest part of being a mom. For me is I'm aware I have a selfishness in the sense that, I have an idea, I want to get it done, let's execute, let's like move forward. And that's not something that's completely out of the job description when it comes to being a mom. But there's so much within just what I've been talking about with the trip and the house that I can go into, but my brain is so overwhelmed. So when we got here, it was like the 20th of May, right? What month is it? Oh, and then within 2 days, I get a call from the detective. And he was like, "Are you in town?" And I was like, "I guess you watch my TikToks, or I guess you know what's going on in my life, because yeah, I just moved here." And he wanted to meet up for coffee. And I was like, perfect. So I met the detective for the first time, and we went over what is going on with Sky's case and moving forward with going to Japan. So I have been hesitant to talk on TikTok about the case right now because it was during this meeting that, well, prior to the meeting, I was informed that in order to move forward, they wanted me to kind of slow down on talking about Sky because privacy issues, and Japan didn't want any kind of publicity on this because truth is, like, this may be all for nothing in a sense. there may not be a resolution. And like, I know this going into it. I'm aware. But the narrative can change when it's in the hands of others and when it's put forth in the media. So I understood and I respected that decision, and I have kind of been, it came at a time when I was moving, so I was like, perfect, I don't need to post content all the time, you know? So if that was going to prevent me from going to Japan, of course I'm going to listen, you know? I'm talking about it here in as much as I feel comfortable talking about it. But when I met the detective, it was brought to my attention that an NDA is on the table. And the thing is, I don't know what it says yet, you know? Nobody kind of knows what it says yet. So I was like, really? It's like that, you know? Like, I can respect the fact that maybe you don't want me talking about it while I'm there or posting while I'm there. I get that. I can respect that. That's fine. But to have a legal document kind of made me nervous, like a little scared. But, you know, if it allows me to go to Japan, for my family to submit DNA, then I don't know what other choice I have. So that's what's been going on with that. Yeah, it's kind of a wild thing to have thrown at you, especially given what I've been doing with this. Like, I post content about my sister's case and her disappearance because I want answers. I want more done. And I try to come at it from a human experience. This is happening in real time, and I want people to understand. I don't know if people will ever understand, and that's completely fine with me, because it's not something that, because if you understand it, then you might feel it, and you don't need these feelings. It's completely and utterly frustrating. But this is something that is happening. So, that being said, we are moving forward with going to Japan. We're going to Japan soon. The detective is also going. Interpol is involved. The Japanese National Police are involved. It is like a real serious thing. So I don't know how to convey the magnitude of it, because I don't think it's really hit me yet, considering I have moved across country. I'm trying to fix up a house. And another side bit, my father just had an angiogram to see if he needed open heart surgery. He has heart disease, and he had a triple bypass before and some stents, and those have expiration dates. So they're seeing if he needs surgery again. My brother had an episode where he had a seizure or a stroke, and all of that has happened right before the trip and during my trip, during my move. So there's a lot going on, and this is actually the first moment where I have been able to actually sit, and I'm saying them out loud because I am in the throes of processing all of it. And on top of that, I'm planning an international trip. And I also need to enroll my son into kindergarten. This is a lot, right? Yeah, and last night I was stripping wallpaper till 9:00 at night. And something else I've noticed, because as soon as I got to the house, I just started throwing myself into doing things to make it feel more like home, and painting, and just whatever it takes, really. And that's usually a habit that I do. It's a coping mechanism to just kind of not avoid, but to just, well, kind of avoid what's really going on. But to keep myself busy. So taking this moment to talk about what's going on is needed. But I think the reality is when people do go through, trying times, it is finding that moment to actually let all that is going on around you, let it hit you so you can feel it, so you can go through it. Because later on, if you've been actively avoiding it, it will do so much more damage. It will blindside you. You'll wonder why one day you wake up and like your hair is falling out, or why, you're snapping at just like the smallest things. It's because you didn't take a moment. I guess it doesn't need to be a long moment because I got so much shit to do. But this is my moment. And letting you guys know that things are happening. The trip is being planned. There's hopes that my mom and I will explore the areas that Sky was said to go. And that's also in the works. So at this point, just to also let you know, I originally wanted my husband to go because he's been with me this entire time. But the reality is it is very expensive. So it is just me and my mom. And plus also we needed somebody to watch AZ because of the time that this will take. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. And I don't know what kind of legal issues I will face. But I'm just going to roll with it because what will be, will be. Hey, that's my cat. And I just have to let things kind of happen at this point because there's so little I have control over. But I have been able to get to this point, and I think that is a fucking accomplishment. I have been able to get closer to getting answers as to what happened to Sky. And that's fucking huge. It's so big. So at this point, I have to go spackle the walls. I have to go figure out what I need for Japan. I have to go get my son. I just dropped my husband off at the train station, so actually this is the first time I have been alone in like 2 months. Yeah. But things are good. Things are happening. A lot's happening at once, but this is how it's supposed to be, right? You just gotta put on a brave face and do it. You gotta get through it. I'm so fucking ready for this.